Today I'm gonna see how much I can make in 12 hours. I'm not selling you this alcohol in like a really serious tone. Day has gone nowhere close to plan. Ended up making my stomach upset. This is where I was like, this is now like just like disrespectful. I had to cancel that Safeway batch that I had. So I'm planning to work 12 hours today and multi-app and literally just take whatever app ends up giving me the best orders. Instacart, DoorDash, and Uber. It is a Saturday. We're just gonna see what happens. I'm guessing during the day is going to be mostly Instacart. And then once it becomes like maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock dinner time, all the way through the evening, I'm assuming that delivering food orders is gonna be the most profitable, but we never know. So we're just gonna see what happens today. But we are starting off to an amazing start with this Sprouts order on Instacart. I actually got the order while I was at home, which is kind of unusual. I always go online when I'm at home, and I usually end up leaving and, heading to the store. And it's a single order, 50 items, 66 units, and it's for a Sprouts that is further away. So what I'm going to do is, instead of driving further away to that Sprouts, I'm going to stop at a Sprouts that's actually on the way to where I would be going to that location, if that makes sense. And I'm doing this because I'm faster at this store because I know it better. The customer's delivery address is actually slightly in between this location of Sprouts and the Sprouts that the order is supposed to be for. This is just a win-win scenario. I'm not gonna bother driving further away to a store that I'm slower at. There's no point in doing that. I accepted the order super quickly, obviously, and then I didn't get the screenshot. So I'm gonna have to go back after I do it and put it here about what it turned out to be. It was 50 something. I don't remember if it was like 50 on the dot or more than that. On the way, I do have to tell you about what happened yesterday when I wasn't filming. So yesterday I got an amazing order. It was on the screen at $99, and it was a double stack for two different stores, which I don't ever like doing. But this one I obviously had to take, and it was the biggest order I've ever done as far as unit count. If that was like all in one order, like one store, I don't think I could have done it. That's easily 2 carts. It could spill over into 3 depending on if it's bulky items. But because this was 2 orders, it was 1 order per store. The fries order was like 60 items and 80 units. Their cart was filled like to the brim because that one had a bunch of drinks and bulky stuff on it. Of course, what always happens, the mass majority of the tip was all the fries customer, so of course I wish I could have just done that, but I'm still thankful to get this order. And it did go up slightly, so it did go up to 100, which was really satisfying because even though it's silly, it was at like $99.90. Only my second over $100 order I've ever done on Instacart. The first one I ever did was the best one I've ever done. It was a single order. It took me an hour. It was amazing. This order for the entire batch took me 2 hours and 16 minutes, which is a really long time. I am plenty happy with that for $100. That order was crazy. And yeah, let's just see what happens today. I'm aiming to make 400 to 450. My goal is 450 because I think I need to aim a little high. So I'm gonna say that is my goal for the day. And we're starting out with the quick 50. So we're in the car driving now. I didn't actually get to the store until 9:50, even though I got the order at 9:30. I'm scheduled to arrive at the customer at 10:41. Me a little bit less than an hour if we're counting since I got to the store, and then a little bit more than an hour if we're counting since I picked up the order because I was at home. Is a 13-minute drive to the customer. And when I'm a little bit closer to the customer's delivery address, I'm gonna start my DoorDash shift and probably still turn on Uber Eats. And from there, we'll just see what they send me. But there was a lot of batches coming in. I was only online for like less than 10 minutes at home when I got this Instacart batch, and there were several coming in. So I'm thinking today is gonna be pretty busy for Instacart. That order ended up being $53.98, which is absolutely amazing. It only took an hour. I've been sitting here waiting, and I got this McDonald's order on DoorDash, and I just took it because it was so quick. I'm like, I want to not wait around for too long and kind of kill my hourly. So I did that. It took like 15 or 20 minutes. And then I drove back to the same place where I'm sitting now. 47, but it was going 16 miles. And then I saw 43, but it was going 10 miles into like a super residential area. So I would have had to drive all the way back. So I did pass on both of those, and I'm hoping for something better. Did take this Uber order for sauce. Again, it's another pretty quick and easy one, and I don't want to keep waiting for a big Instacart order at a store and just neglecting to do anything else. I do still get, honestly, a lot of great orders when I'm not sitting at a store, so I'm just going to try to stay busy enough with the food delivery. DoorDash is super dead right now, but Uber is still sending some decent orders, so I'm just going to do this $10 one. I think it'll take 20 minutes or less, so it's still a great order. So that was a super easy drop off, and on the way over there, I actually got this DoorDash order, and this is a great single order. It'll be super quick, so I took this one right away, and honestly, this has kind of been a pattern around like 11 to 12 on Saturdays. It's really not that busy, so I'm not surprised that it's kind of hitting a lull right now. But then usually in the afternoons, it picks up really quickly. So I'm not surprised that this is kind of how it's going. And I know what will happen is I'll make like the mass majority of the money for the day, probably in the last few hours. This I'm excited to get because it's not very busy right now, so I really can't be that picky. I still don't regret not taking those other $40 Instacart orders. They were just going really far. It's better that I just did quick food deliveries and now doing this DoorDash order. When I almost got to Sprouts, I just got this Instacart order right after I was talking about how it's kind of slow. I mean, it is still kind of slow, but I got this one, and my cancellation rate on DoorDash is really pretty low, so I did go ahead and cancel that. I've done this many times before, and I was almost to the store, and I'm like, do I try to do it? Like, do I try to do the DoorDash Sprouts that I accepted? It's literally like probably a mile away from the store that I got the Instacart for, but I'm like, it was 23 items, 31 units. I'm like, I'm not gonna push it. I accepted the order when I was like 1 minute away from the store. I don't know, let me know if you're a shopper what you would have done. The thought crossed my mind, like, do I do this order and try to knock out both of them? But I've done that many times where I opt for keeping the order, and I end up getting to the Instacart order with literally like 1 minute to spare, like before my batch gets canceled. Because you know, if you do Instacart, or if in case you don't know, they give you a certain amount of time after you accept an order to arrive at the store and start shopping. And if you don't start shopping, then your batch gets auto canceled. And I have pushed that limit many times before, and I'm just gonna head straight to Safeway. It's way more relaxing this way because I know I don't have to worry about my batch getting canceled. And obviously this order was worth canceling for. You have to be careful when you're multi-apping that you're only taking things you either want to do or that your cancellation rate is low enough that you're willing to risk having to cancel. One, in my opinion, was worth canceling for. It is a little bit of a far drive. It's like 6 or 7 miles. And the second delivery is delivering into like one of the more residential areas, but still, this was worth it. I mean, it's great pay for the units. First customer is the one with the larger order, and we know that's the one who's tipping. So yes, it does sting a little bit to know I have to drive their way to do that second order, but this is a great batch. We're gonna get it done as fast as we can. I just pulled into Safeway, so let's knock this one out. Apparently, every time I film, just drama happens. So I'm checking out for this Safeway Instacart order, and I had 2 orders. One of them was a lot bigger, and one was pretty small, and it had alcohol on it. It had a bottle of rosé and a 6-pack of beers. And when I'm checking out, I give my ID to the guy, to the cashier, and he's like, I don't think this is you. But he kind of said it in like a playful tone. I don't know. I honestly thought he was joking. And so I put it back in my wallet after I showed him, and I come back and he's like, I'm not selling you this alcohol, in like a really serious tone. And I'm like, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you were joking. Like, because my hair is dyed black, but my natural hair is blonde. So the picture of me is like me straight on smiling. It's also like my hair's down in here, and my hair is blonde. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you were kidding. Like, it's my ID. Like, are we able to get a manager over? Or he also didn't scan the ID, which was weird too. And he was insisting that the ID was fake and that it wasn't me. And then he asked the lady at the register next to him, and I showed her. I was like, oh, he just doesn't want to sell me this alcohol because he doesn't think the ID is me. And she goes, well, it doesn't look like you, and kind of laughs too. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why we're all laughing about it, but I'm like, I'm I'm 27. I've also checked out at this store many times. I've seen both of these cashiers. I know for a fact one of them has sold me alcohol, but not the one who I was at. And I was like, oh, I'm actually working. I'm doing Instacart. I can show you my phone. And I still, even after I showed him my phone, he was still reluctant to sell me the alcohol and said he was going to get in trouble. I also thought it was weird because they were not addressing my question when I was like, do you want to scan it, or can we call a manager over or someone from customer service? And they weren't addressing it. They were just like, this isn't you and I'm not selling it to you. Even after I showed them the phone, I showed them the phone of the items. And I was like, I'll show you, here's my phone, here's the customer's birthday, and here are the 2 items showing it's for the customer. And then he finally gives in, I guess, and is like, I'm putting the customer's birthday though, not yours. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I'm just trying to work. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. I'm happy to comply with any other like secondary checks. Like, I'm being very nice. But then I lost it at this point. I was still very nice, but this is where I was like, this is now like just like disrespectful. So there's a male, like an older guy customer behind me in line, and he's also like weighing in like, yeah, that doesn't look like you. And I'm like, first of all, why are you looking at my ID? That's weird. This is not, no one asked your opinion about, you know, if you think he should sell me this alcohol. So I'm glad you're enjoying the drama, but that's weird. And then as I walk away with all of my items, then the male customer and then the cashier are like, yeah, totally doesn't look like her. Like, I don't even think it's her. And I'm like, I was gonna go back and say something. I'm like, it's not worth it. So I just walked away and ignored it. It's so inappropriate to like, and the cashier to also like be enabling it and continuing to talk to this other customer about like, it's totally not her. I'm like, guys, I'm 27 years old. I'm closer to being 30 than I am to being underage. Very confused on how there's even drama about if me is underage. I don't get it. I don't look anywhere close to being underage. He thought the ID was fake and that it wasn't me. Now that I finally got through that, I dropped off the first order. That was easy. It was super close by. And I am now sitting in the parking lot at the second drop off because this is a hotel. And I see room numbers that are almost the room number that I'm looking for. I think I saw like 308 over there and I'm looking for like 312. So I'm going to go walk and try to find it, and it better be close because they have a 40 pack of water bottles. So hoping this only takes me a minute to find their unit. I ended up moving my car to get closer to their door. I brought the bags and I realized I was a little bit of a farther walk, and I'm like, I'm not carrying a 40 pack of water bottles this far. So I moved the car. Wasn't a bad walk at all. First customer who tipped a flat $50, which is just amazing and I'm so grateful for. And then the second customer, the one with the far drive with the 40 pack of water bottles, tipped a flat $2. Kind of frustrating. I personally don't understand how people order groceries and tip $2, or like, I mean, anything under $5. I mean, even $5 is bad. Yes, it's very relative to like how big your order is. This was not a big order, but it had a 40 pack of water bottles on it and delivering to a resort. So kind of like an apartment where you have to walk further. Tipping $2 is insane. This is also a very expensive resort. That's always kind of insulting, but the good tipping customers do make up for it. I'm kind of going back to where I was before. I was pretty much equidistant from where I was before and then like the next hotspot, if that makes sense. I was kind of in between. This part of town doesn't really have many hotspots or like grocery stores around here. But it was only a 14-minute drive, which is really not that bad considering where I thought I was going. So I'm going to go back to a similar area where I was before and then see what I can pick up. So it's 1:58 now. I'm parked at a hotspot and I'm waiting. They normally do drop orders on the hour mark, so we'll see if I get something quickly here. There is already a little bit more volume picking up. And while I'm sitting here waiting, I'm just gonna take my lunch break. This is my lunch today. It looks so good. I've been making sandwiches mostly recently, but this time I made a salad. I had this chicken that I fried for last night. I made an Asian orange chicken with it, and I saved some plain pieces, so I just tossed them with buffalo sauce, and then I have my ranch on the side. So Target bag is secured and they had her size, so perfect situation. So I'm heading to this order now. I got this Instacart order as I was walking into Fry's, or as I was walking into Target. Day has gone nowhere close to plan, but that's okay because we're still out here doing our best and that's all we can do. So earlier, what I ate for lunch ended up making my stomach upset. So I literally had to cancel that Safeway batch that I had. And it was a pretty good one. It kind of sucked. I was like wanting to try to stick it out, but I'm like, I'm not taking a chance when I feel this nauseous. So I ended up canceling it, which sucks. And going home and just laying on the couch, resting and just kind of like letting my stomach settle. And it is 6:50 and we're back out. We're back out here trying to see if I can still recover a little bit of this day. Because it's Saturday, I still think there's a good, 2.5 hours that I could probably be out working and it be busy. Still think I can do some damage in 2.5 hours during peak dinner time. So I'm starting out with this great double stack food delivery order on DoorDash. Probably not going to do any shopping unless a great one comes in, but normally during this time, this is where you just get like amazing food delivery orders. So I'm going to start out with this. And anticipating I'm just probably gonna deliver food for the rest of the night. Picked up this Uber order next. I have it in the car with me now. It's easy, just a single pizza and then a few items at Payway. Normally on Friday and Saturday nights, there's a bunch of orders just like this one on Uber mostly, like $15 to $20 double stack for, 3 to 6 miles, maybe 7. There's a bunch of orders just like this. So I try to just knock these out the fastest possible. And that's what I've realized is actually the better strategy for Friday, Saturday nights and kind of focusing less on Instacart. It was about 30 minutes ago, a good $40 Instacart order that I tried to grab, but unfortunately I was just a little bit too late because I wasn't sitting on the screen, but that's okay. I'm knocking these out pretty quickly. Easy to get orders back to back at this time, which is my favorite thing. And that's the biggest thing, is not having the sitting time in between that makes the biggest difference. Last DoorDash order that I dropped off was also the most ideal situation because the people were literally neighbors. So it was almost like having a single order, and it was, I think, $26 for the stack. So I went to 2 restaurants, but it was basically like only doing 1 drop off and not 2 since they were literally neighbors. So I've had that happen a couple times before, and I'm like, okay, this is the algorithm like doing its best job right here, is when they find neighbors that order from similar or close by restaurants and you can get that stack. I just got another order on Uber that is super similar to the last one. So kind of like just what I was saying, between $15 and $20 and like maybe up to 7 miles double stack. So this one is easy too because it's only 1 restaurant pickup. So it's both orders are at Postino. I just pulled up here now and we're going to pick up these 2. This is 1 order on Instacart I tried to get and somehow I missed. It was a $35 single order for only 25 units, and I was on the screen and I hit accept and it was already unavailable. So sometimes there's just nothing you can do. You just have to do your best, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. So Instacart can be difficult sometimes because it is all like first come first serve model, so it can get frustrating, where the other apps, at least you usually have like a second to look at the order before you just hit accept. We're here at Postino and this order is quoted to take about 30 minutes. I did miss the screenshot because it was a match order, so I clicked it and then I wasn't able to get a screenshot, but I think it was quoted about half an hour for $19, which is great. Did head in there and they said neither of the orders are ready, and she was thinking about 10 minutes, so that kind of sucks for the delay. But because it's a double stack at 1 restaurant, I'm just gonna wait. The orders are small, so I'm hoping that it still won't be that long, so I'm just gonna head back in there. I had to come turn the car off, and hopefully it won't be a 10-minute wait and it'll be a little less. So as I was about to go back into Postino after coming out to turn my car off, I got this Federal stack, and this restaurant is literally right next door to Postino. So I'm like, this restaurant already has a 10-minute wait, so I'm gonna take this one. And the orders were going like straight in a straight line, like just a little bit south from each other. So I'm like, this is perfect. So I went to Federal to do that pickup while I was waiting for Postino because they told me it would be 10 minutes anyway. I was hoping for less, but by the time I went to Federal and then went back to Postino, when I checked in at the counter, the girl had just taken the orders from the kitchen, so it ended up taking 10 minutes like they said. Picked up the Federal orders, put those in my pizza bag, and that's easy to keep those warm because they just go in the bag. Orders are just cold foods because there's charcuterie boards on both orders. So that was like a super easy situation. So now I just made this into a great stack. I'm still gonna try to do a few more orders after this. It is getting a little bit late. I think it's like 8:50 now. But yeah, this was like a great stack to be able to do both of these, and it's very hard to stack Uber and DoorDash orders at the same time without compromising your on-time rating or compromising the customer's food by letting it get cold. So you have to use your hot bag always, especially even if you're doing just a double order stack on one platform, you always want to use the hot bag. And things have to line up pretty perfectly on timing in order for this to work out. So you do have to be prepared if something goes wrong. If you do try to double stack, you might want to be prepared to unassign if it is necessary. In this case, I feel so lucky because this one just worked out so well. So we're on the way and we're almost there to deliver the first one. Okay, we are finally on the way to the last delivery. I actually forgot the drink for one of my orders, and that cost me like 5 minutes because I got a couple minutes away from the store before I realized. Luckily, I didn't make it all the way to the customer, but it still cost me about 5 minutes between driving back. So it is what it is. They didn't hand me a drink and I just didn't check. So that was my bad. Like, could have been worse. It really wasn't anything to worry about. So I'm on my way to the last customer now, and it's like 9:15, I think. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to do more after this, just because this one is delivering kind of close to my house, which is also why I took this stack, because it was going in the direction of home. So I might just call it after this, but I'm also debating if I should stay out later because I'm not actually working tomorrow. So that is why today I also had such a steep goal, and why today I wanted to do a 12-hour shift, which I never do 12-hour shifts. So that's also why I was even more motivated to do that today, is because Sundays are always my best day. I think they are probably for most people. And tomorrow I'm actually doing a spa day with my mom and my sister for my mom's birthday. So we're gonna be at a resort literally all day. I mean, I could try to wake up early, and if I could get out early enough, we're not meeting I'm meeting at my sister's house until 10 a.m. So if I was someone who woke up early, I mean, I would wake up at 6 and I would work before. Unfortunately, I'm the one who works late and not really so much early. So why I might push it a little later tonight. We'll see if something comes in, but I'm not gonna sit around waiting when I'm already kind of close to my house. So that's also why I was hoping to do a crazy challenge today, which for me, 12 hours is a lot more than I normally do. Because I'm skipping Sunday, which is the best day. But after these, if I don't do another one, we'll see what my totals are. We kind of just had to make the best of what happened today. So we'll see how much I was able to pull together, even though I worked a lot less than I planned and things didn't really go according to plan. But that's just how things work out sometimes. You don't always have control over what happens. So I lost track of how many hours I've worked today, even if I quit after this order. So I'm going to add that up when I get home, and then we'll see what I was able to kind of piece together on this Saturday. Our home, finally. I did just go home after that last order. While I was dropping off the last order in the apartment complex, I did get a $21 Pizza Hut double stack, which that was really fortunate to miss because it was only for like 1.5 miles. But it timed out. Like, I tried to accept it, but the error request happened. But the important thing is now we are home, and my dog is gonna be so excited. Where are you, Lay? Or maybe not. Maybe he doesn't care. Oh, there he is. There he is. I'm home. I'm home. So I'm just gonna hang out with him for the rest of the night, which the rest of the night is not very long because it is 9:40. I need to do my totals for the day and see what I was able to do. I definitely was able to hit 200, I'm pretty sure. And then I might have hit a little bit more than that, but I'm not stressing about it. Things didn't go as planned. I got sick from my food, and things like that never happen to me. So I'm like, I don't know what happened today. But nothing I can control. I was definitely home for like several hours in the afternoon, so I lost a lot of the day, but I'll add up what my hours actually worked were, and then we'll just see how things turned out. And I will not be trying again tomorrow because tomorrow is a Sunday I'm actually skipping for once, and we'll just get back to it during the week and see what happens back on Monday. So the total for today came out to only $222.76, and this was across all platforms. And I ended up working only 7.5 hours today, and that made my hourly just under $30 an hour, which is not great. Given everything that went wrong, however, I'm honestly happy with over $200 for the day. Squeezing in that late night shift on a Sunday night really did help with my weekly earnings. So it all ended up working out in the end. If you enjoyed this video, I would definitely appreciate you liking the video. It really helps the algorithm a lot. And if you like videos like this, then definitely subscribe to my channel because I will be posting more just like this. And I will see you in my next video.